Hi guys, so today we are doing 6.4, day 1, solve linear systems by elimination. Okay, so first thing, we need to figure out what elimination is. That is when you combine equations to eliminate variables. So here are some examples. It says use addition, subtraction to eliminate a variable. So they give you two equations here. If you notice, the x values don't have the same number, but the y values have a positive 4 and a negative 4. That's how you know they're going to eliminate. So you can see that 4 minus 4 is 0, so those cancel. And now you just add down. So you have 2x plus 4x, which gets you 6x. 2 plus 16 gets you 18. So now your problem is 6x equals 18, and when you divide, you get x equals 3. Your next part is you're going to substitute 3 for x in equation 1. And solve for y. So if you look, we got x equals 3. We took x equals 3 and we put it in for x, or we substituted it in for x to figure out what y is. So 2 times 3 is 6. If we subtracted the 6 over, 6 minus 2 is negative, or 2 minus 6 is negative 4. So then we have 4y equals negative 4, and when we divide, y equals 3. So our solution, we would have gotten 3, negative 1. I know I went through that kind of fast, but we're going to do some examples that will make a lot more sense. So here we go. If you look at A, you notice that our x values are the same, but opposite signs. That's what we want. Our y values aren't even the same, so we're going to eliminate our x values. I'm going to act like this is a giant addition problem. 4 minus 4 is 0, so our x's eliminate. 4 plus negative 3 is 1, so I have 1y equals negative 16 plus 15 is negative 1. So that's my new equation, is 1y equals negative 1. Now, when I divide both sides by 1, I get y equals negative 1. So this right here is my y value. I'm going to take my y value and I'm going to plug it in for y in the first equation. So now I'm going to rewrite the first equation. I have 4x plus 4. Instead of y, I'm going to write parentheses and inside what y equals. So y equaled negative 1, so I'm going to replace y with negative 1. And now I'm going to finish writing the equation. So equals negative 16. And now I just solve for x like I normally would. So I have 4x, 4 times negative 1 is negative 4. I add this 4 over. So 4x equals negative 16 plus 4 is negative 12, and I divide. So my x value is negative 3. Now we can check this if we need to. So a way by checking it is taking our x value and our y value and plugging them in to make sure that the left side of the equal sign equals the right side. So for example, if we took our very first equation, so we had 4x plus 4y equals negative 16. We found out that x was negative 3, so I have 4 times negative 3, plus we found out that y was negative 1, so plus 4 times negative 1 equals negative 16. Now if I wanted to, I could just plug this part into my calculator and see what I get. So I'm going to take my calculator, and I'm going to do 4 times -3 plus 4 times -1, and I get -16. So I have -16 equals -16. My left side matches my right side. Ooh, check, so I know I did it right. So my solution to this problem is -3, -1. Let's keep doing some more examples. So we have example B. If you look, I see that my x values aren't the same number, so they can't eliminate, but my y values have the same numbers and opposite signs. So that's what we're going to use to eliminate. I can cross out my y's because they're gone. 5 plus -3 is 2x. 22 plus -10 is 12. Now I divide both sides, and I get x equals 6. So I have my x value. I'm going to take that, and I'm going to plug it in for x in the top equation. So I have 5. Instead of x, I'm going to write what x equals. So x equals 6 plus 2y equals 22. 5 times 6 is 30. Subtract from both sides. Now, if I don't know what 22 minus 30 is, I can put it in my calculator, -8, just to check. Divide both sides by 2, and I get y equals -4. Now again, we want to check and make sure that we did it right. So I'm going to plug these into the top equation. I have 5x plus 2y equals 22. I'm going to plug them in. So I have 5, my x value is 6, plus 2, my y value is -4, equals 22. Plug that into your calculator exactly the way that you see it. 22 equals 22, and that is correct. You can check it with the other equation too. So if I wanted to, I can go ahead and plug it into my second equation. So I have -3 times 6 minus 2 times -2, and I want it to equal -10. So when I plug it into my calculator, I have -3 times 6 minus 2 times -2. Oop, this is a -4. Whoopsie, I was like, what did I do wrong? Sorry about that. That should be a -4. So when I go and plug that in, so I have -3 times 6 minus 2 times -4. -10 equals -10. That is correct, so I know I did it right. My answer is 6, -4. All right, let's keep it rolling. So for C, these look a little bit different, but don't worry, we can solve using elimination the same way that we have been. So remember, when you don't have a number in front of the y, that's technically a 1. Now, if you look, we've been talking about same number. Both of those y's do have the same number. But the x's have same number and opposite signs. That is truly what we want. Same number but opposite signs. So our x's are going to eliminate. Now we can add down. So 1y plus 1y is 2y. And negative 3 plus 3 is 0. So our equation is 2y equals 0. We divide both sides by 2, and 0 divided by 2 is 0. So our y value is 0. Now we're going to take that 0 and we're going to plug it in for y. We use the top equation. So my top equation says y equals 3x minus 3. I'm taking 0 and plugging it in for y, and then rewriting the rest of my equation. So 3x minus 3. And now I'm going to solve for x. So add 3 to both sides and divide. So my y value is 0 and my x value is 1. Let's check it. So I have y equals 3x minus 3. I'm plugging in 0 for y and 1 for x. I'm going to type this part into my calculator. So 3 times 1 minus 3, and I get 0. 0 equals 0, so we're good. Let's do the second equation, same thing. So I have y equals negative 3x plus 3. I'm replacing. So I have 0 for y, 1 for x, and typing it in. 0. 0 equals 0, so we are happy. My solution to this problem is 1, 0. Let's do one more. I think we have just enough time for one more. So I have 5x plus 8y equals 36, 7x minus 8y equals 12. We should be able to tell just by looking at that our y's are going to eliminate. So I have 5x plus 7x, that gets me 12x. And 36 plus 12 gets me 48. Divide both sides by 12. And x equals 4. Now I'm going to take that 4 and plug it into x in the top equation. You could use the bottom equation if you want. I've just been using the top. So we have 5 instead of x. I'm going to replace it with the 4 plus 8y equals 36. 5 times 4 is 20. Subtract. (36 minus 20 is 16). And divide. We get y equals 2. So we have our solutions. We're going to check it to make sure that it works. So my first equation, I have 5x plus 8y equals 36. I'm going to replace the x with 4 and the y with 2. And when I plug it into my calculator, I want it to equal 36. So I have 5 times 4 plus 8 times 2. And I get 36. 36 equals 36. So I'm happy there. Let's try the bottom equation. So I have 7x minus 8y equals 12. Again, I replace x with 4, y with 2. And this time when I plug it in, I want it to equal 12. So I have 7 times 4 minus 8 times 2. And I get 12. It works. So we are happy, and our solution is 4, 2. Alrighty, don't forget to try your homework and have a great day. Let us know if you have any questions.